out and get rocking and rolling. Give me yeses in the box. There's way too many people for you guys to just be sitting around. Do me another favor. Close your email. Close Facebook. Close everything else around you. Put some headphones on so nobody can distract you. Give me just a little bit of time, and I guarantee you, if you take what I give you tonight and you don't treat this webinar like you probably treated every other webinar, then I guarantee you're going to see some good things. Okay? Get off all that stuff. Tonight's not about Facebook. It's not about email. It's not about TV while you're watching this. This is not just entertainment. This is big. Okay, let's do it. All right, so here's what we're going to be covering tonight, guys. It's very, very important. This is what we're going to be doing. Number one, tonight we're going to be talking about why this call is so important, why this Better Life sequence is big. So the first thing that we're going to be covering tonight, I'm going to tell you why you're supposed to be here, okay? No pitch, so, hey, we got nothing to lose, right? The next thing is I'm going to teach you about the 5 happiness components, okay? I'm going to teach you about the 5 happiness components. How many of you would like to know what the hell it is to be happy? How many of you are not really happy right now? Just be honest with me, and it's okay if you cry a little bit tonight too, okay? Tell me if you're not real happy tonight or you're not where you want to be. Tell me. It's okay. Some of you are happy, but you're not as happy as you want to be. So tonight I'm going to teach you the 5 things that lead to happiness, okay? These are the 5 things that lead to happiness. And what's so important about these 5 things that lead to happiness is if you understand these 5 things, your business will absolutely explode. But you have to understand these 5 things, okay? So everybody understand, we've got 5 things that you have to learn, and if you start aiming yourself at achieving these 5 things and growing these 5 things, I guarantee you every part of your life gets insanely better. I mean insanely better. Not just a little better, but insanely better, okay? The next thing we're going to do is what I call the purpose funnel. I'm going to teach you how to take those 5 happiness components that we talk about, put them in this funnel, and how to actually accomplish your goals with this purpose funnel, okay? Now, none of this is going to make a damn bit of sense to you guys right now, but if you pay really close attention tonight, you're going to see some amazing things, okay? This is different than most calls I do because it's not about a business system. It's about a you system, okay? And like I said, I just want to share what I've been doing and how my life has gotten infinitely better and how you can do it too. Now, the next thing is once you figure out these 5 happiness components, once you figure out how to basically put them in this purpose funnel, you are going to need more time in your day to accomplish the things that you need to accomplish. And guess what? Guess what? If you need to accomplish some more things, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to get rid of some other things. And I'm going to teach you how to get rid of all the crap that's taking up your time but not giving you anything in return for your time. Does that make sense to everybody? Good. That's the key. I'm going to teach you tonight how to get rid of most of the things that take your time that give you nothing in return. Because listen, when you give your money, you should get something in return. Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree? When you give your money, you should get something in return. When you give your time, you should also get something in return. So let me ask you guys a question. If you kept giving someone a $100 bill and they weren't giving you something in return, how long would you be giving them that $100 bill? Not real damn long, right? Here's the thing. You do it every day with your time, and I'm going to teach you how to fix it. You may not like it. It may be uncomfortable for you, but if you will listen to me tonight and do what I say, I promise it's going to lead you to some amazing things once again. All right, so waste of time. We don't want any of that. We're going to talk about that. After that, how many of you would like to see how I organize my day and steal my organizing and planning stuff? I have some really cool stuff that I do. It's really simple. It's not anything over the top, but it keeps me in line and it keeps me going. All right, good. Awesome. So I'll give you that. It will not be crazy, but I'll show you how to do it. You can steal it. You can follow it, whatever you want to call it. All right? Next thing is, I'm going to teach you, once you figure out, the 5 happiness components, how to use that to get your purpose in life and how to use that to grow, how to get your day back so you're not wasting time, how to organize your life. I'm going to teach you how to staff your dream life. How many of you would like to know how the hell to hire staff to make your life infinitely better? Okay, good. I want a bunch of yeses, and as soon as I get those yeses, we're going to dive in. No more introduction stuff. Let's actually get to the meat of this. Okay. Rock and roll. Good Lord. Guys, it is extremely hard to follow the chat tonight, so if I'm a little bit behind, just stick with me, okay? Okay. Lots of coming in. Let's do it. Come on, Moses. I love it. All right, guys, so let's get started. So the first thing we're covering tonight is why you need to be here. Number one, if you're here, I already know something about you. We talked about this a little bit already, but here's what I know. There's something missing in your life that's keeping you from being as successful as you want, okay? There's something missing in your life that is keeping you from being as successful as you want, okay? And here's the secret. Are you guys ready for the secret? This is the secret as to why you're not as successful as you want to be. It's not due to lack of information, okay? It's not due to you don't have enough good information. It's not due to the fact that you don't have the latest secret. It's not due to that you don't have the latest method or software. How many of you have fallen into that trap a million times? You think you're not successful because you don't have the latest thing, the latest software. Yeah. Okay? Tonight we're going to kill that. So get ready to move that crap out of your brain tonight, okay? I don't want any more of this crap in your head. You have enough information to be successful. Every one of you on this call has that. My staff that's on this call tonight, they have enough information to be successful. But the key is you may not be successful because you have a lack of focus, you have a lack of organization, and you cannot plan effectively. If that sounds damn familiar, say yes. I feel like I'm preaching a sermon tonight. Like I'm that hyped up. But it's true. It's absolutely true. The thing is, guys, is you guys are smart. You have a ton of information, and if you don't have the information, you have it at your fingertips. The problem is somewhere in your brain along the line, you started believing that there was something missing information-wise or software-wise or stuff-wise that was keeping you from being successful. And at the same time, you didn't realize that you have everything that you need. You just didn't know how the hell to use it. That is the biggest problem you have. And listen, it's nobody else's fault. Guess whose freaking fault it is? It's not any marketer that's sending you emails. It's not anybody knocking on your door trying to sell you something. It's not your parents. It's you. Okay? So if you believe me that this is all your fault, let's get that out of the way right now. Say, I believe you, Dr. Ben. Or yes. Either whatever's the easiest thing to type it in the box. Because if you don't believe that it's your fault, you need to get the hell off this call right now because I can't help you. Nobody can help you. Because let me tell you, you guys are the masters of your world. Okay. Okay. You are responsible for yourself. Don't blame it on anybody else. Don't blame it on there's too many marketers sending me stuff. It's your fault. And if you can wrap your minds around that like I did a couple years ago, then you're going to be in a position where you understand if it's your fault, what can you do? If it's your fault, what can you do? This is the beauty of it. If it's really your fault, then you absolutely have the power to change it, to fix it, and to change everything. Okay? So here's the problem. You guys, do you want to know why you've fallen into this trap? There's a reason, and we're going to dig even deeper into this so you understand what's going on in your heads. Do you understand why you've fallen into this trap and why you believe that it's not about focus, why you believe it's not about organization and planning? This is the key, guys. And if you understand this, you even get deeper as to what may be wrong right now. You may be falling short of success because of this. And I say may, and I know. You're probably falling short of success because you have no idea what actually makes you happy. Does that fit anybody? You have no idea what on a long-term scale actually makes you happy. Do you know why you keep buying all this stuff? Because it gives you a short burst of happy. Think about that. When you click the buy button, how many of you get a little bit of euphoria? How many of you get a little bit of euphoria? Let me tell you something else. If you're a little bit overweight right now, how many of you get a little bit of a euphoria from eating that sandwich, eating that donut, and then you feel like crap? It's the same damn thing, guys. You know why those things make you temporarily happy but not long-term happy? Why clicking that buy button? Why eating that donut? It's because you don't know what really makes you happy. It's short-term, but you don't understand what is the long-term happy stuff. And tonight, guys, if I can give you anything, if I never get to talk to you again after tonight, if you never open an email from me, if you never show up to another webinar, if I can just give you one thing that will change the rest of your life for you, it's to show you how to be happy. And that's what tonight's all about. And then when I show you how, I'm going to show you what to do to get there. Okay? So whatever reason you're falling short, I can almost guarantee if you listen tonight, you're going to be happier. Okay, are we ready to move on? Okay. One more thing I got to cover. So if you came in late, you understand about this call. Okay? I'm not pitching anything. I've said that already, but I want you to know. I'm not pitching anything. There's nothing to buy at the end of this call. This won't be any bullshit channeling the universe stuff, because as cool as all that is, that's not what we really want to hear. We want to hear the reasoning behind stuff. So you're probably, how many of you are asking yourself, if I'm not pitching anything and there's nothing to buy at this end of this call, why I'm doing this call? Like, that had to arrive in someone's mind. Somebody on this call had to think, well, if you're not going to pitch anything, if you're not pitching anything, what the hell is Ben's angle? What the hell is Ben's angle? There you go. You good? Someone's upset that I have the cursor over the presentation. My apologies. I think they were effing with me a little bit. Here's the thing, guys. Number one, I do want to pay it all back, but I understand something that I hope you understand. Let's say, yes, I love you. Yes, I want to help you, but here's the reason. This is it. I understand that this particular part of my business grows when I can help you grow. So the thing that I have to gain on a very selfish level is this. I know that when you get more of what you want, I get more of what I want. Now, this is what I want. You ready? Because I'm about to tell you how to make me very happy next year. 2014, this is what I want. And this is what this call is about, is to position you so you can help me get more of what I want, but it's because you'll be getting more of what you want. Does that sound fair? All right, this is what I want next year. At the end of the day, when we get next year, I want 10,000 people that have a consistent six-figure business because of what we teach. Okay? We're well on our way. But that's what I want. I want 10,000 people that have a consistent six-figure income. Okay? Next thing is I want 100 people that have a consistent 7-figure business. Okay? That's the things I want. I also want video testimonials when something we teach works for you. Listen, if you want to get something that pisses me off, it's we change so many lives, but a lot of times I don't get a testimonial for them. Guess what? Next year, I want more testimonials if we've changed something for you. That makes me happy. Why does that make me happy? Because it's proof that we should keep fighting. Okay? It's proof that we should keep fighting and doing what we're doing. So I need more of that next year from you guys. The next thing is, I want to make you even more money with a higher level training. How many of you would love to pay me a lot of money to make you even more money? How many of you would love that? How many of you would love to write me a check tomorrow for $25,000 so I could make you an extra $100,000 on the low end? How many would love that? How many of you would love to write me a $10,000 so I can make you an extra $50,000 to $100,000? If you had it, right? If you had it. Here's the deal. If you listen to what I tell you tonight, you will get it. Okay? If you want it, you can have it. Just listen to what I have to say tonight. Because here's the thing. If I make you more money, that's a win. And then you can spend more money with me, and I can make you even more money. All right? So here's the thing. Let's move past my motivations. Does everybody understand? Does everybody understand why I'm doing this training now? Does anybody feel bad about that? Good. All right. Enough hubbub. We got into the why you're here stuff. Let's get into the actual good stuff. You guys ready to learn the 5 happiness components? It's the thing. I know that to grow my business, you all have to grow this next year. So if I'm going to hit my goals, you guys got to hit yours. All right. Are we ready to go? All right. Here's the thing I need you to do. Take out a piece of paper. Take out a piece of paper or open up Notepad, whatever. Get ready to take some notes. Because this is going to be one of the most powerful exercises you've ever done. Tell me when you've got it and you're ready to go. I'm going to take a short break and take a drink while you guys are doing it. If my voice goes tonight, I will keep preaching through the hoarseness. Because I'm pumped. Man, I'm pumped for 2014. But I don't want 2014 to be something where you put in a couple of months and then you give up. All right, let's do this. And yes, I will record this for you guys, I promise. All right, so here we go. This is the map. This is the map. Now, this should be confusing as all get out for you guys right now. This stuff that you're seeing on your screen should be totally confusing. That's okay. It's all right because I'm going to explain all of it to you. So this is how this all works. The first thing is we have our 5 happiness components, okay? Once you understand what these 5 happiness components are, we're going to use the purpose funnel, which is how to use the 5 components to power your life and power your business and keep you motivated and keep you from burning out. Now, as soon as we start using the purpose funnel, you're going to be a lot busier, so we'll have to find out how to get your day back, meaning we're going to have to eliminate a bunch of stuff, which is going to be huge for you. After that, once we start eliminating stuff, we need to get more organized around the 5 things that we need to accomplish. And as soon as we get really, really good at the organization, what are we ready to do? What are we ready to do as soon as we get super organized? How many of you made the dumbass mistake this year or the year before of hiring staff before you yourself were organized? I'm raising my hand. I'm raising my hand myself because I screwed it up too. Do not try to outsource crap until you have it organized yourself. Okay? Right there should have taught you something. But I'll teach you even more in a minute. Once you get it all organized, someone says I'm the first person to teach that. Trust me, I know. Because I learned from those dumb bastards too. No, I'm just kidding. But you understand where I'm going with this. So here's the thing. Once you actually get organized, then we're going to staff it out. And once you staff it out, you get rid of the task you hate, and you're only doing the task you love, so we lead to happiness and success. On a very basic top view level, does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys, what we're talking about here? Do some of you already see a place where you screwed this up this year? Okay. All right. So let's get going. Let's get going. All right, so here we go. Pen and paper out. We're going to be moving fast. I promise you, you will not be able to do everything on this call because I'm going to be moving too quickly. But the whole point is you understand how to go through this exercise so you can watch this later. And when you watch this later, you'll be able to do this exercise fully. Does everybody understand that? Because I don't want anybody telling me they've fallen too far behind on this call because I'm going to be moving fast. But when you watch this later, you're going to have to watch it with me talking. So screenshots aren't going to be the only thing that helps. But when I send you this replay out, go through this again and do it for real. This is me training you. You're going to screw it up this time. But after we get through training, you need to go back through it again. Okay, here we go. This is the 5 happiest components. If you understand that these are the 5 things that make you happy, everything in your life gets better. Your work gets better. Your personal life gets better. Everything's good. So here's what I want you to do. The first component of being happy is your family. Now, some of your friends can be considered family, but the first component is your family. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down, and trust me, I'll tell you why you're doing this in a couple minutes. I want you to write down the 3 specific goals that you want for your family life this coming year. One of my goals was this, just to give you an idea. I want to be able to spend at least 2 hours a night hanging out with my kiddo. He's 2, he's almost 3, and I want to be able to spend 2 hours every night hanging out with my kiddo. Okay? That's number 1. Another really good goal is I want to make sure that my family, once a week, my wife and my kid, we get to go to the park together once a week. Okay, together as a group. And then the third is I want to make sure that my wife and I get a date night at least once a week too. Now, let me ask you guys something. Are those difficult to accomplish goals? On one hand, no. But on the other hand, when you're working yourself to death, they are. But do you guys understand how much my relationship would grow with my wife and my kiddo if I did that every week consistently? Now, those are my goals. They're not necessarily your goals. Okay? Those are my goals. They're not necessarily your goals. You're probably going to have some different goals. But the thing is, it's important. How many of you are saying, well, Ben, if my business isn't doing good, how can I spend more time with my family? I'm working my butt off and still running into walls. How am I supposed to spend more time with my family if I need to put more work in? Who just said that? Be honest, it's cool. We're all friends here. What if I told you that not spending time with the ones you love has hurt your business? Some of you don't believe me, and that's okay. That's okay. Some of you don't believe me. Some of you are the kind of person that truly believes your job in the family is to work, not to hang out with your family and friends. Now, this may be a good friend, too. But that's family, the core group. Okay? You don't have any real family? I'm talking about the ones that you really want to spend time with. Why is it so important to your work to spend time with your family and friends? It's balance. Do most of you understand that you spend so much time on work and so little time on family that your balance is out so that your work actually suffers. If you guys understand, and listen, I work harder than most people on the planet. And at one point in my life, I had some pretty much breakneck hours, meaning there's a wonder I didn't die. But the key is I understood that it's not about working more. It's about working in a smart way. And when you work in a smart way, you understand that those breaks are what make you magical. How many of you noticed that have been with me for a while, in the last year, my business has skyrocketed compared to what it was the first 2 years? How many of you have picked up on that? How many of you have picked up that in the last 6 months, it's skyrocketed more than it did in the first 6 months? Do you think that it might be because I figured something out that you don't understand yet? Perhaps. If you haven't noticed, that's okay. But there are a lot of people on the call tonight that have. And my thing is, guys, is if you spend so much time in front of a computer or at your job that's all you do, you're in trouble. Now, I'm not talking about if you have a day job right now that you can leave early. You got to put in the time that you are contracted for. What I am talking about is there's a time to walk away. There's a time to walk away. The problem with most of us is our business is our hobby. How many of you does that fit? Our business is our hobby. What we call our internet marketing business is our hobby. Now, here's the other thing. Does everybody have this down, by the way? Does everybody have this down? Good. Good to go. Your goal should not be the same as the goals that I just said, okay? But how many of you simply can make one change in your family life or with your close friends that will enrich your relationships with them this year? And you can do it by making those goals. Would anybody like to know why I want to do those things? It may seem obvious, but would anybody like to know why I want to do those things? The reason I want to do those things is, number one of my big goals is to get closer with my wife this year. I want to get closer with my wife. My wife is so smart, but I've worked so hard the last couple of years that we have not got to hang out as much as I wanted us to hang out. I'm going to get real with you guys right now. And what's funny is, when my wife and I talk, my business grows because she gives me good ideas. When my wife and I talk, we have fun because we get things that no other people on the planet get. We have good jokes that nobody else gets. With my kiddo, I want to teach him how to do what I know how to do and what you guys know how to do so that he never has to get a real job. But you know what? I got to start now. Does that make sense to you guys? That's the reason I'm investing so much into my family, because number one, it helps me keep my head straight so that my work is better. But number two, it's so that when my kid gets older, he won't have to go through the same crap that we all did. It's important to me. All right, you guys ready to move on to the second one? Everybody understand family and why that's important. Now, stick with me. This will not all make sense. That some of you are going to be like, oh, this is kind of boring, Dan. Family, whatever. Stick with me. This is all going to tie together. I promise. All right, here's number two, your faith. How many of you, now don't take this to be you believe in God. All right, now I am a firm believer in God. All right, firm believer. He's smacked me around quite a bit in a good way. But this is all about establishing how you connect to the world. Okay? This is the most foofy thing we're going to talk about tonight. But your faith is not necessarily belief in a God. It's how you connect with the universe. Okay? I said no universe stuff. This is the only universe stuff we're going to get. So, 3 specific goals. Right now, I want you to write down 3 specific goals that you can accomplish this year that will grow your faith? I only fibbed a little, though. Would you guys like to know mine? Okay. One of the big things that I want to do is, and this is a church thing, is I want to make sure that my family gets to church every Sunday. Now, here's why. I want to make sure that if we get to church every Sunday, that there's consistency with my kiddo thinking about bigger things in the universe. Does that make sense to you? I just want the consistency. Because if once a week I can make sure he's already thinking about that stuff, great. Now, do I really care if he goes to church every week? No, but I want that constant reminder that, hey, the universe is bigger than us. The world is bigger than us. And I want him to think about the big questions. So I want to make sure we go to church once a week together as a family. Number two, I want to have weekly conversations that are tearing apart everything that we learned about in church that week. So I want to have 1 to 2 conversations with my wife a week where whatever was taught at church, we deconstruct and try to prove or disprove to ourselves. I believe that's a healthy way to approach faith, but guess what? I'm not doing enough of that right now, so that's important to me. Everybody see where I'm going with this? And this is the other one. And this is probably, if you hate church, that's okay. I still love you. Here's probably the one that I think is the most important to me right now. Every night, this is going to sound really silly, so please don't make fun of me. Every night, at least once, I want to go outside and look up at the stars and remember how small I am, but at the same time, remember how big I am as well. How many of you have forgotten what the stars look like? It's sad, isn't it? It's sad, isn't it? That we forget to go outside and look up. And I do it every so often, but I forget. And guess what happens every time I go outside and I look up at the stars? I remember the impact that I can have. Now, nobody's made fun of me yet, so I really appreciate that. Do you understand, though, the faith component and why that's so important? Why do I want these things? Why do I want these things? Because it makes me a better human being, which means I can do a better job for you. I can do a better job for my family. I can do a better job for everybody we touch. Everybody good? Okay, enough foofy stuff, but do you understand why the faith component is so stinking important? Good. Good. That's big. All right, everybody ready for the next one? Like I said, if you didn't get all 3 down and you didn't get the why you want these things, that's okay. But this is important. Do a few of you see where we're going yet, or are you still a little lost? I would be lost if I was sitting where you are right now. I'd be a little bit lost, but that's okay. All right? That's all right. Let's move on to the next one. By the way, I hope you plan to hang out with me for a little bit because we're taking this one to the hill. All right, so the next one is this. Your health. Your health is important. How many of you, since you got into the internet marketing game, or you got into the running your own business game, or you got into the working at the office game, have let your health slip? I'm raising my hand. Not everybody. How many of you that are paying attention to your health right now pay too much attention to your health right now? It's an obsession. It's okay. So here's the thing. There's 2 sides to this coin. There's 2 sides to this coin. Number 1, we got people that aren't paying enough attention to it. Number 2, we got people that are so obsessed with it that they miss out on the other good things in their life, and they don't have the balance. Okay? So here's the thing. Here's the thing. What are the 3 goals that you want this year? Now, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This is where you're going to screw up. When you get into health, this is where you're going to screw up, because a lot of you are going to feel vain when you care too much about your health. How many of you don't care enough about your health right now, and your excuse is, well, you know what, I don't want to be like those guys in the gym that are always looking in the mirror. How many of you have made excuses because you didn't want to appear vain? Or it just seems silly to focus on that? Okay, now here's the thing. You got to be specific. You can't say healthy eating, more physical activity, and listening to your body. I appreciate that. So that's a good comment, but that's a crap one. I want you to be specific. This is where you get selfish. Guess what I want this year that I'm going to get? Guess what I'm getting? After all these years of not being where I want to be, guess what I'm getting? I'm getting the six-pack. Why am I getting the six-pack this year? Hair transplant. Thank you. I appreciate that. Even the technology exists, I will go after it. You guys know me too well. No, I'm going for the six-pack. Now, why am I going for the six-pack, do you think? Why am I going for the six-pack? Why am I going for the six-pack? Is it because I'm vain? No. You guys, let me tell you a secret. You tell you a secret? I do a lot of speaking. You guys know that, right? You guys know I do a lot of speaking, correct? I do a lot of public speaking, too. Let me tell you something. When you walk into a room and you've got, I've been darn close before. When you walk into a room and you are in good shape, guess what? You walk up there like a lion. For those of you that are offline marketers or you have an offline business, when you talk to other people, are you as confident as you should be? I bet you're not. The thing is the more confident you are in yourself because you feel good about you, the more you can give the world. Does that make sense, guys? The more confident you are in you, the more good stuff you're going to be able to give the world in 2014. And guess what? The more good stuff you can give the world in 2014, the more the world is going to give back to you. Everybody okay with that one? I'm pretty confident regardless of my faults too, but guess what? I love improving. Love it. Love it. So that's one. The next one is I want to eat more raw foods this year. When I say raw, that's not very specific. Let me get specific with you. I want to eat things that are not processed. And the only time I want to eat processed food is maybe 1 to 2 times a week. Okay, why? Why is that? How many of you have ever gotten a headache? How many of you ever got a stomach ache? How many of you have ever had skin problems? Bless your heart, how many of you have ever had cancer? Here's the thing. I can't promise you that eating great is going to keep you cancer-free or headache-free or stomach pain-free or skin condition-free. But guess what I can promise you? You are much less likely when you eliminate the crap like that from your diet. Now, why does this matter? Because the better you feel and the more healthy you feel, you can do what? You can impact the world in a greater way. Does that work? Now, one more. I got one more for you, and I want you to tell me a few of yours. My last one is I want to cut sodas out of my diet completely except for 1 time a week. I want 1 soda a week, and you know what? I don't mind putting a little Crown or Jack in that Coke when I do have it. But I want to eliminate it almost entirely. Now, here's the thing. We're going to get out of my goals. The thing is when you write these things down, be specific, because the more vague you are, the less chance you have to do it. You have to have a target. So if you say, I don't want this, this, and this, you have to be able to be specific. Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't drink a lot of soda anyway, but it's a good, let's get rid of the rest of the crap. So, do you guys understand where I'm going with this? It's got to be specific. It can't be, I want to lose weight. You know how I know I'm going to get a six-pack? You know how I'm doing that? Because I've picked out someone that has a six-pack. I have them help. They're very similar build to me. And I have them in their process helping me to achieve that goal with what I eat, and with how I work out. Make sense? Everybody understand the health component? Someone just said Bruce Willis. I love it. Are you guys following me so far? Now, I'm about to tell you how to use these things in a couple minutes. But that's the thing. Is this helping you so far get very specific with what you need? We got 2 more happiness components. This is so important. And I'm going to tell you how to use this in a couple minutes. The next one is work. The next one is work. This is the one we're all pretty good at, right? This is the one we're all pretty good at. But let me ask you something. How many of you know exactly how much money you're going to make next month? How many of you know exactly how much money you're going to make next month? I do. I do. Not what you think. How many of you know exactly? How many of you know exactly how much money you're going to make next month? Ah, you don't, do you? Most of you don't. I promise you, because this is what you've been telling yourself. Next year, I'm going to make as much money as I can. How many of you are, I'm going to make as much money as I can with everything that I do next year, with my offline, with my online, with my business? That's your answer. You're going to make as much money as you can. Guess what? That's a load of shit. That's a load of shit. Here's why. Your brain doesn't work that way. Your brain can't think in terms of we're going to make as much as we can. Here's what's amazing. If you tell your brain a number and you decide on that number and you have a goal of why you want to make that money, guess what your brain does? Because you are all very smart people. Guess what your brain does? It figures out a damn way to do it. Okay? So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you how to use this in a minute. Here's the thing. If you don't say that you're going to make $10,000 in January 2014, you're probably not going to make it. If you don't also tell yourself why you want $10,000 in January 14, you're probably not going to make it. You know what drove me to make my first $20,000 in my business? Guess what drove me to make my first $20,000? The first 2 months that I was working, my goal was $20,000 in my business. Why? Nope. I wanted a new MacBook. I had never used a Mac before, and I wanted a Mac, and a Mac was about $3,000 at the time, and I didn't want to think twice about buying it, and I said, you know what, if I got 20 grand in the bank, that's probably exactly what I need, and I'll still be comfortable. But guess what? Until I had it in my head that I have to have 20 grand because I want to buy this and still have money left over, it wouldn't happen. But the second that I said, I want to achieve this goal because I want this, there was an issue and I couldn't get there. Now, a lot of you are sitting there right now and saying, well, Ben, I'm not very materialistic. I don't need a lot of stuff. Well, guess what, guys? I don't need a lot of stuff either, but sometimes I set myself goals so that I have a reason to get there. Because guess what? You could say, you know what, I'm going to go buy a new Hummer tomorrow. when I hit $100,000 this month and then turn around and say, you know what? I'm going to make it 2. I'm going to make it 2. But guess what you just tricked your brain into doing? You just tricked your brain into actually doing something to accomplish that damn goal and to put out all the distractions. But here's the thing. You have to reward your brain sometimes. You can't just keep tricking it. You have to actually reward it. One of the most perfect examples of this is this last year. I had a certain income goal, and I did not, even though I kept making the money, I never put the money into my bank account until the end of the year. I was extremely worn out at the end of the year, but the second I moved that chunk of money from the business account to my personal account, guess what happened? I had all the energy in the world again. I went from burnt out and a simple bank transaction from one account to another instantly gave me energy again. Is that powerful? Do you think that's powerful? What is that? That's you setting a goal and fulfilling that goal. Do you think I made a whole lot of money for the business on the way? I absolutely did. I absolutely did. So the thing is do this. Set yourself a yearly income goal. And listen, be somewhat realistic with your first goal and then go a little crazy. So here's how many of you would like to know how to set your income goal? Who wants to know how to set it? Well, if you guys are cool with this going late, because we're going to go late. Are you cool with knowing how to set your income goal? Let's do it. This is how you set your income goal. You say, this year, I want to buy this. How many of you want to buy something this year? In 2014, at the end of 2014, you want to buy something. How many of you want to do that? Type in the damn box what you want to buy this year. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I don't care how obnoxious it is. I don't care how out there it is. If you're not materialistic, don't care. Tell me something you want. Oh, these are good. Cars, houses, paying off that huge credit card. Love it. Disney cruise. Love it. Oh, beautiful. World cruise. We got so many good things. A new Viper. Oh, man. That's a good one. Can't say it live on the call. Porsche. Nice. Amazing. Racehorse. You guys got some good stuff. So here's the thing. Of everything you just told me, be honest with me. I want a yes or no answer. Of everything you just told me, how many of you can tell me right now how much that thing cost? Yes or no? Not an estimate, yes or no? Okay. Good. Some of you know, some of you don't. If you don't know, that's a problem. You got to go find out, because now that you have that number in your head, we're going to set that number for December. So let's say that you want to buy a $30,000 car. Let's say you want to buy a $100,000 car. How much money do you have to make this year? So next December, we want to buy a $100,000 car for ourselves. How much money do you need to make to buy that car and still have money left over? What do you think? This is how you set your goals, by the way. Let's say 500,000. Okay, so 500,000, divide that by 12 months. How much is it? 500,000 divided by 12 months is, and we nailed it, per month, $500,000. How much per month? It's around 42, right? 40, 42-ish. You guys get it. So if you're making 42 a month, how the hell are you going to do that? How much money per week do you have to make $42,000 a month? How much per week? Okay, around 10, 10.5. Okay, how many of you have a real plan to make 10.5? If that was your goal. This is what's amazing. Let me ask you something. Is buying every new product under the sun going to get you to 10.5 a week? Or to 3,000 a week? Hell no. Does showing up to 5 webinars a week, showing up to 4 to 5 webinars a week, going to get you there? Hell no. Does checking your email 4 times a day going to get you there? No. Someone says, hell no, logging off. I love it. So let me ask you something. If you want those things, do your daily actions reflect what you need to make per week? Do your daily actions reflect what you're going to need to make per month? Do your daily actions reflect what you're going to need to make this year to get that car, that $100,000 car? That's the question. Now, something else. One of my goals is I want to take my staff on a big trip this year, but we have to have the money to do it. So I have to put that income goal in. The key is do you understand now you have to basically plan backwards? You have to say, this is what I want. This is the amount of money we'll have to make per year. This is how much I'll have to make per month. This is how much I will have to make there. Everybody understand? Now it gets complicated. You can put taxes in there, you can put all that stuff, but the key is, guys, is you can write off your car in your business sometimes. You can write off a lot of this stuff. So it ends up becoming a business expense, and that's a whole other call. But do you understand what I'm talking about with being specific about your goals? Does everybody understand being specific about your income goals in your business? Now, here's the thing. Many of you may not have any idea how to accomplish those goals yet, but do you understand why if you don't have those goals, you'll fall for anything? Does that make sense? You'll fall for anything if you don't have something specific. And the reason is because, listen, you're going to start doing a bunch of shit that doesn't lead you to where you need to go because you don't have a real goal. Okay, that's important. Okay, who's ready for the last one? This is going to be the hardest one for most of you. You guys having fun? You digging this so far? Is this powerful? Save me questions for the end if you have any questions. I promise I'll get to them. I'm going to stick with you guys as long as I need to. This is important to me that you guys get this because I'm tired of seeing people struggle when it's their own damn fault. All right, here's the last one. Your hobbies. Write down 3 specific skills that you want to grow that aren't work-related. This is going to be hard for you because a lot of you So here's a very limiting thought. Someone just typed, is it possible to earn $25K in a month? Fuck yeah. You know why you know one of the main reasons is because you don't really believe it in your heart that it's possible. And if you don't believe it, you're not going to plan for it. You know what? If I'm going to make $25K in the next week, I'm going to do it. If someone's going to die in my family unless I make $25K, I'm going to learn how to do it. I'll make it happen. That's what you got to have in your head. It's got to be have to, not can I. All right, let's move back into this. Hobbies. Here's the thing. I want to put out a CD next year. I don't guess there are CDs anymore. Someone says, I'm going to have to stop cursing. I go to church every week. No, I'm Catholic. I grew up with cursing. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, but the point is I want to put out a CD. I used to play a lot of music, but I let it go because of my work. Do you guys, let me ask you this. If I learn to play better music, do you think I'll be a better communicator? Do you think I'll be more balanced and more focused when I do come to work if I focus my brain elsewhere? Here's the thing. Too many of you are working too many hours, and that's the reason your work is crap. That's the reason you're procrastinating at work, because you're burnt out. You have to have things outside of work, and this is the hardest thing for me because I love work so much, but I want to put out a CD. I would really like to really get into guns, because I have a lot of friends that are into guns and shooting. I would love to get more into that this year. That's part of my goal this year. You have to walk away from work so that your work is amazing. Does that make sense? If you don't walk away from work, if you don't balance with these other other four things, your work suffers. And when your work suffers, you make less money. All right. Here's the question. Someone just says, what if I can't stop because I won't be able to pay my mortgage the next month? The thing is I guarantee you, how many hours a day do you work? Who just said that? How many hours a day do you work to pay your mortgage? 12. Why do you work 12 hours a day to pay your mortgage? 16, whatever. Learning and trying. How about if you quit learning and you took some of the stuff you already knew and actually focused on it for a couple months? Like, every day you woke up and you focused on it solely. I'm going to tell you something. Working too many hours doesn't make you more productive. It just makes you feel more productive. You're bullshitting yourself. You know why you work 12 to 16 hours a day? I don't know specifically, but let me tell you why you work 12 to 16 hours a day. Are you ready? You want to know why you work 12 to 16 hours a day? Because your planning sucks. Your planning sucks. If you planned and organized, you're smart, right? Everybody on this call is smart. If you're so damn smart, why can't you plan your day to be more efficient? You know why? Because you haven't tried. You haven't tried. Trust me, if your goal next year is to work 4 less hours a day, and that was all you thought about every day, as smart as you guys are, if your goal is to work 4 less hours a day, how many months would it take for you to accomplish it? How many months, if you focused, okay, you're working 12 hours, you only want to work 8 a day. How many months would it take you if every day you woke up and you focused and that was all you thought about, was getting so organized and so put together and so focused on that? How long would it take you to fix that? Without me intervening, without anybody else intervening, how long would it take? A month or less. 3 months, someone says. Not too long. Okay, I think you guys get my point. Did this part of the session help you? Did this help you? And I will take all your questions at the end, guys. I promise. So if you got something or you disagree with me or if something doesn't make sense, please hit me up at the end of the call, okay? You want to know why you guys are so scared of being specific with your goals? Who wants to know why you're scared of being specific with your goals? It's scary, I know. Because if you plan that well, you might fuck it up. And what would that do to your head if you didn't accomplish your goals? You know why we're so vague in our lives and why we're so in love with being vague? Because it allows us to never fail. Write that down. We love being vague because it allows us to never fail. If you take nothing else tonight, I am giving you permission to fail, to fall on your face, and to feel stupid. You know how many times I feel stupid every week? It's a lot of times. A lot of times. If you're vague, it gives you an out. Good point. Don't give yourself any outs. You know why the person whose wife is dying can earn $25,000 in a week? Because they don't have any other choice. Okay? Stop giving yourself outs, and you will achieve everything you say. Do you guys think it's an accident that I know exactly how much money I'm going to be making next year? It's not, because I know every month exactly what I have to do to get what I want. Exactly. And I don't give myself any outs. I don't give myself any excuses. I put it in front of my staff, and if we don't hit those goals, it's my fault. And you know what? If we fail, it's my fault. And I'm okay with that. I'm going to give myself those goals and take that risk. All right. Good stuff so far. Here's the deal. When you go back later tonight and you're going over all the notes you took and you're going over the 3 things that you put for each one of those things, you got to go back later tonight and you have to give me 3 reasons for each of those 3 things in each of those 5 categories. You got to give me 3 reasons why you want each one of those things, and you have to be as specific as possible. Does everybody understand what you got to do when you get off this call? Say yes if you do. Take a minute and tell me just so I know you're along with me. Why do you have to tell me 3 reasons why you want each of those goals? Because then it's real. It's real. Okay? And here's the thing that's going to make you incredibly uncomfortable every day of your life for 2014, but it's going to be the most powerful thing you've ever done. I want you to print this sheet off, or I want you to make a copy of what you just wrote down, and I want it up above your desk where you will see these damn things every day. That's important. Every day. I want you to stare impending failure down every day. You don't have to write them every day. I just want you to look at them every day. All right, now here's the next thing. This is what I call the purpose funnel. Does everybody understand the 5 things I already gave you? This is the next thing that you've got to do tonight when you get off the call. This is going to be the hardest thing, one of the hardest things you guys have ever done, because it makes you be specific. Tonight, I want you to write down in excruciating detail, or tomorrow morning if it's 2 a.m. in Europe, like you said. It's okay, Sebastian. Tonight, I want you to go in and write down in excruciating detail, what does your typical day look like if you're going to do all 5 things every day? By the way, if you're up late, thank you so much. I know this is worth your time. So, seriously, how can you take care of one of these things every day? Think about that. So here's the detail you have to have. When I wake up, I'm going to wake up at this hour. Specifically, what hour are you waking up every day? I'm going to wake up at this hour. And the first thing I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to probably go into the bathroom and use the bathroom. Then I'm going to get into the shower. What does your shower look like? What does your house look like? I want it visualized in your head. If you're living somewhere you don't want to right now, I want it visualized in your head. Now, this is, by the way, I'm borrowing a lot of this part from Frank Kern's Core Influence. But let me tell you something. Frank borrowed it from someone else, too. But here's the key. With this Core Influence type stuff that Frank used to talk about, why is it so important? And listen, everybody can tell me where this excruciating detail, what your typical day stuff is from, but how many of you have done it? Here's the thing. So every stinking day, and I'm going to walk you through. Can you see my cursor? With your family, what are the goals that you want to accomplish this year? I told you guys what my goals were, and I'm going to tell you exactly what we need. So what do I have to do next year to achieve my goal? What do I have to do each month to achieve my goal? What do I have to do each week to achieve my goal? And what do I have to do every day to achieve my goal? And guess what happens when you get it down to the day? Then you can build what we call the perfect day. Does everybody get that? Once you understand these 5 components, listen, I watched that whole Core Influence thing, but I still didn't know enough about what I wanted to build it into my day. But once you tackle these 5 components, you know exactly what you need to do every day. Would you guys agree? Oh, no, that's good. I'm glad you guys have seen that before because it makes my job easier. If you've seen Frank's Core Influence, I think it's great. If you haven't, go watch it. But the one problem I have with Frank's Core Influence is most of us have no idea what we want in the first place. So how in the hell do we manage that? So someone says 15 goals every working day. No, one of them. One of them. So let me ask you guys. If one of my big goals is to go to church every Sunday, can I do that every day? No. I can only do it, I can only do it once a week. If one of my goals is to go to the park with my kid once a week, do I have to do that every day? No. If one of my goals is to meet, with my wife for dinner and go out on a date every week, do I have to do that every day? No. But let me ask you something. Can I plan one of the days of my week to do that? Every week? I'll show you how I do that in a couple minutes, by the way, how I plan my weeks. Do you get what I'm saying, though? Do you understand how now you can take all of those 15 things that you just wrote for me, those 15 things you want to accomplish, and how you can build a week that actually accomplishes all of them? So far, so good? Now, some of you I know what you're thinking. You're sitting there right now and you're saying, Ben, that's bullshit because, well, Ben, I'm doing so much crap right now that I don't have enough time to put in this new stuff. Who of you right now is saying, Ben, I'm so busy right now that I don't have enough time to do all this new stuff? Just don't have time, Ben. There's no way I'm just barely, my head is above water right now, just barely. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. Be honest, guys. I don't care. Obviously, it's the wrong answer, but I'm going to show you how to fix it. Just tell me. How many of you feel like you have no time to add anything else because you're just trying to keep up and you're running a race? And you're behind. It's okay. I've been there. Been there. So let me tell you how to fix that. First things first, it's this. When you put all of those 15 things into that funnel, you said, this is what I got to do this year. This is what I got to do this month to accomplish that. This is what I have to do this week to accomplish that big goal. This is what I have to do every day to accomplish that goal. Can you do it? Number one, can you make $100,000? Can you make $500,000 if you have to make $42,000 a month, if you have to make $10,000 a month right now? Is that possible right now? It may not be, but you've got to really add it up. Listen, I'm fine with you aiming at what you think is possible when you map it out, but let me tell you something. Could you guys make $200,000 a month? Could you make $500,000 a month with the same principles? Could you make $1 million a month with the same principles? Yes, but on the flip side, could you just make $5,000 a month and that end up being an extra $60,000 next year? Could you end up making an extra $10,000 and it being an extra $120,000? So what's $10,000 a month divided by 4 weeks? What's $10,000 a month divided by 4 weeks? It's $2,500. How many of you think if you really focused, $2,500 a week is doable? That's where I started. How much money per day is that? $500-ish? $300 to $500-ish? Okay. Let me tell you something. Did you realize that, and I'm just going to tell you guys this, that if you have 2 products that are $250, you just got to sell 2 a day? Just 2. 2 every day. That's it. That's it. But how many of you are doing the math that way? How many of you are saying, well, I've got this many products or I need to make this many sales because I've got this many assets? Do you see what I'm saying? You're not connecting the 2. And when you start connecting the 2, you're that. How many of you think that with that 6-pack, I have to have mapped out every day what I'm going to go do? And this is the bullshit that all these people are selling you. to have your own business, to have the internet lifestyle, to have the stay-at-home lifestyle. You never have to plan. But let me tell you something. I got the internet lifestyle and I was home and I didn't have to do anything. I didn't need an alarm and I was miserable because I needed the structure. Needed it. Structure makes me happy. And what's bad is a lot of us feel like we hate structure, but secretly we crave it. Okay. Now, how many of you just told me that you need more time in your day to put these 15 things into your week? I'm gonna get your day back for you. If you'll stick with me, I'm going to get your day back for you so that you can fit these things in. How many of you said yes, that you need more time in your day to put these new things in your day? Okay? All right, I'm going to show you now, every one of you on this call, I'm going to show you now how to get your day back. Let me warn you, some of you are not going to like this. Okay? You just created a day, but here's the thing. You got a lot of crap left in what we call the kill-off day that we have to get rid of. Your kill-off day is made up of habits that make it impossible to achieve your goals. These are the things that you've told yourself are you being productive, but it's not. These are the things that if you kill off, you'll get to where you need to go. The old stuff that you had, they take up too much time, and you're not going to have enough time to take care of the new stuff. How many of you want this new stuff badly? How many of you want this new stuff so badly you can taste it right now? See, right now is where I should pitch a product, right? I'm just kidding. But you guys get it, right? So here's the thing. If you want it bad, you're going to have to get rid of the old stuff that's taking up all the time in your day. Even those of you that feel like if you give up the old stuff, your money's going to go away and you're going to crash and burn, are you willing to at least go with me down this road? Okay. So here's what we got. I'm willing to bet money that your 12 to 16-hour days are bullshit. I bet if you gave me the same job and the same skills that you have, I could get that work done in 2 to 3 hours. And someone's sitting there saying, well, whatever, Ben, you've not seen my situation. Bullshit. I've seen it all at this point. I've seen excuses left and right. If I had your skills and your knowledge, I guarantee you I could take your 12 to 16 hours and put it down to 2 to 3. Why? Because I've actively worked on it. I've actively worked on it. All right, so here we go. We're going to get our day back. Let's do this. So first things first, I'm going to tell you where I was losing my day. I'm going to teach you where I was losing my day and what I did to get it back. And I would be willing to bet money that 90% of you, this is where you're losing your day too. And this will help you directly. But even if it's not where you're losing your day, this is going to give you the skills to keep you productive by removing something. All right, here's the thing. I want 3 things. Write down 3 things right now. Think hard. What are the top 3 ways you distract yourself from the things you hate at work or the things you hate in your business? Write those down. What are the top 3 things that you do to waste time to distract yourself from the pieces of your job or your work, your business that you hate? Write them down, and then I'm going to tell you mine. Okay, here's mine. Email, Facebook, and TMT, which is what I call too many tabs. Now, this is not my chiropractic business. I had other ones there. But too many tabs open in my browser was killing me. Why? Here's where a few of you are going to hate me. Why was too many tabs? Okay, look at the bottom of this screen right now. It's about to pop up in red why too many tabs and email and Facebook is such a problem. Ready? Here we go. Multitasking is bullshit. If you think you're a good multitasker, I can bet you that you're probably not making as much money as you'd like to make. Listen, if I hear one more person say that multitasking is doing well for them, and I always hear women are good at multitasking, yeah, you're better than guys, but you still suck at it. If I hear one more compliment or one more resume with the ability to multitask, I don't want anybody on my staff multitasking. Why? This is the hard one for people. Because anytime your brain switches from one thing, one task, to the next task, you lose effectiveness. And it takes you longer to do it. Okay? It takes you longer to do it. So here's the thing. What if every task that you have, you finished to completion and then moved on to the next task? Here's the thing that you're going to realize. It will cut your jobs and the time it takes to do them at least 50%. 50 freaking percent, guys, you will gain by stopping the multitasking. Now, in the real world, if you have a boss, sometimes you have to switch tasks. It happens. But the key is you have to completely switch tasks. Not have one foot in the door and one foot out the door doing both. Does that make sense to you guys? It's so important. It's so important. Now, would you guys like to know how I fixed mine? Did I nail most of you guys with like the stuff that's the most unproductive? Because these are mine. These were mine. They're still working on them. Okay, here's what we got. This is how you fix them. I unsubscribed from most of the email list I'm on. Now, what's the bullshit excuse that most of you in marketing or in business tell yourself about staying on a lot of lists? What's that bullshit thing we all tell ourselves? We need to stay up to date. Oh, I learn what the competition is doing. I get good ideas. Might be the new silver bullet. I love listening to marketers talk about how much they learn from other people's emails. Bullshit. That's a load of crap. You know what I did 1 month to completely double my income? I stopped checking my email. Guess what, guys? This is going to blow you away. I stopped checking my email, and the world kept turning. It was amazing. The world kept turning. It was nuts. So here's what I want you guys to do. Here's what I want you guys to do, okay? I want you guys to go to Unroll.me, unroll.me, and I want you to go through that. The last time I did this, I unsubscribed from over 500 newsletters. I want you to pick out 3 to 5 people that you want to follow, and I want you to unsubscribe from everything else. How many of you just shit your pants? Because that hurts so much. Because it's such an integral part of your day right now is seeing what all your marketer buddies are doing. Trust me, I know. Every business has this. 3 to 5 people is all you need to follow. Why? Because that's all it takes. Well, if you're following 3 to 5 people, it won't be typically 3 to 5 emails a day. Okay? But if you go into your email right now and you try to unsubscribe from all the lists you're on, I promise that it's going to take you days. If you go to Unroll.me, it's going to take you 20 minutes. And someone just said, I need a week to decide who I will leave. That's a load of shit too. You know right now the people that are the most effective for you. You know it with all your heart. And listen, it may mean that you and I have to part ways. It may mean that I'm not effective enough for you guys and that we have to part ways. But listen, if nothing else, unroll.me, if nothing else, if I'm not effective for you, you should get rid of my ass. Sound good? I'm being real with you guys. Unroll. It's right on the screen, guys. So here's the thing. If I'm not doing you a service and I'm not growing your life, get rid of my ass. Anybody else out there that's just selling you shit, but that shit's not growing your business, get rid of them. The only time you guys should buy something from me is when it fits into your plan. How many of you think I promote too many things? How many of you think I promote too many things? I only promote too many things if you buy everything that I put out there. You shouldn't do that. Are you crazy? Don't buy everything I put out, because when I put out something, it's for a specific audience. It may not be for you. I got a lot of different kinds of people on my list. So that's the thing, guys. I want you to get rid of everybody but 3 to 5. If you don't really want to grow. Okay, here's the thing. For your email and for your Facebook, set time limits. 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night. I usually check my email when I first get up in the morning. That's about a 15-minute thing around 11, because I get up late, stay up late working. And then I check it I'll probably check it again right before I go to bed at night. 15 minutes tops, Facebook and email. Now, how many of you said, but Ben, I work in Facebook. Facebook's important. How many of you have bullshit yourself into thinking playing on Facebook is part of your work? I'm raising my hand too. I'm raising my hand too. Say guilty or yes if that's you. Well, I'm an internet marketer, or I have a business to promote on Facebook. You know what? You're just not planning well. Maybe it's LinkedIn. Maybe it's YouTube. But you understand what I'm saying? Listen, if you're part of a mastermind that meets once a week, is that a good spend of your time if it fits into your business? Of course it is. Of course it is. If you're a part of 8 masterminds, is that a mistake? Yes, of course it is. Come on, it's crazy. Now, can I believe that maybe 2 of those actually work for your business? Yes, but show me the money, guys. Show me the money. If they're not making you money, get rid of them. I don't care if you already paid for them. Get rid of them. It's not the person who sold it to you's fault. It's your fault. But this year, you need to be focused because you deserve better. All right, the last one is, we unsubscribe from a lot of those, except for 3 to 5. We set our time limits, 15 in the morning, 15 at night. Trust me, you won't miss anything. You think you will, but you won't. The last one is only 4 tabs open at once. How many of you get confused when you're working because you can't remember what you were doing because there's so many tabs open? I'm raising my hand too, because I've done that. I've absolutely lost track of what I was doing because there were so many tabs, and then I was like, shit, what was I doing 15 minutes ago? Oh, I was supposed to be doing that. 4 tabs at a time. Why? Because 4 tabs is typically tops what you need open to do everything you'll need to do. Someone's telling me 551 subscriptions on Unroll Me. I'm glad I got to get that out to you. So get those tabs closed because it's making you poor. How many of you believe me? It's making you poor. Too many tabs, TMT is making you poor. If you believe me, great. Fix it. If you don't believe me, I don't care because I'm right. I'm okay with you not believing me. Every time you see that 5th one open, get rid of it. Just get rid of it. It's totally cool. Now, here's the thing. It's going to take you a few weeks when you start doing this. When you unsubscribe, it's going to take you a couple weeks to stop checking your email every 30 minutes because it's a habit now. You did it to avoid shit that you didn't like to do, but now it's a habit. So you'll just be doing it and you won't even realize it. It's going to take you a couple weeks to get this down. But here's what happens in a couple weeks. You get to about January 20th, guys. If you consistently do this, January 20th, you're going to start realizing that you're bored because you have more time than you've ever had. Who believes me? It's not so much bored, but you're going to feel like you're not being productive because you have all this time on your hands. I've been there. Like, literally, when I started really getting this, I was like, I'm not being productive anymore. I need to work harder. No, I didn't. I was still getting 10 times as much done. I just wasn't doing a lot of wasteful stuff. I was actually getting a return on my time. Okay? So here's the thing. Once you start realizing, this is the trick, because it took me a while to figure this out. Once you start realizing you have that time back because you're not doing the dumb shit anymore, it's time to organize our domination. This is how you're going to basically get your happiness components done. I'm going to show you how to schedule it. You guys ready for this? I'm going to show you the simple tools that we use to basically plan our week, plan our month, plan our year, and how I do it on a big level and how I do it on a small level. Okay? So here's the thing. You got to understand, organization is big level, small level. Everybody say it. Big level, small level. Big level is the giant view. Small level is what you do every day. Cool? All right, let's do this. So here's what I use. It's four things. Four things that I use. Number one, if I gotta make $20,000 a month, then I have to have on my calendar enough things to bring in that income every month, right? So with a Google Calendar, I have to have a ton of stuff, right? I have to have a ton of stuff that actually brings in income, or a small amount of stuff that brings in a lot of income. Does that make sense? But the calendar tells you what you're doing each week, and the calendar will keep you planned a month out to 2 months out. Does that make sense? A month out to 2 months out. That's what a calendar does. We use a couple different things. We use something called Trello. How many of you have heard of Trello? Okay? Trello is basically a to-do list. So, how many of you launch products? How many of you have a daily set of tasks that you have to do every day? How many of you have something repetitive that you do that makes you money? What Trello basically does is this. Trello gives you the step-by-step so that you don't have to think about the step-by-step. So think about it this way. Every time I put a product out there and we launch a new product to the world, guess what? The steps are the same. Right? The steps are the same. All right, so we're back, and if you guys missed anything so far, what we're doing is we're going through all of our organization stuff. For those of you that are watching the replay, it'll be like no time passed because we'll cut it perfectly for you guys. But here's the thing. We got through our Google Calendar, so that's how we view our month. So if I say I want to make $100,000 this year, what is my calendar each month on my calendar designed to do, guys? I mean, everybody on the call. What is my calendar designed to do every month if my goal is to make $100,000 next year? If my goal is to make $1 million, let's just start with $100,000. So each month on my calendar should be to make about $8,400, $8,500, right? And if my calendar doesn't have tasks that are designed to make about $8,500 a month, we're screwed. Would you guys agree? We're screwed. Like, if the stuff on my calendar doesn't fit that, then we're screwed. And then what we do with Trello, which I'll show you in a minute, or my notebook, Trello and my notebook are pretty much interchangeable, is every week I know exactly what I got to do. So my notebook gives me the tasks daily because, listen, are you going to screw it up if you look at your month and say I need to make $8,500? Yeah, what the hell are you doing today? Like, honestly, what the hell are you going to do today that makes you $8,500 this month? I don't know. You got to plan your month out in a way that makes you the money, and then every day you look at your calendar and say, okay, what are the things that I need to do tomorrow to make sure I hit those goals? And it's only 5 things a day. A lot of you say, well, Ben, I do more than 5 things every day. My productivity will go down. And once again, I'm going to say bullshit. I would bet good money that most of you do not complete 5 things a day. 90 to 95% of you do not actually complete 5 things a day. Now, you may get 5 things a day started. You may get 1 or 2 things done. But I would venture to say you don't really complete 5 things that move you towards your goal. Most people don't. If you want to be one of the most productive people on the planet, get 5 things, 5 real things that are moving you toward a goal done every day. Everybody make sense? Now, the last part's my favorite. This is what we call the Friday gut check. This is what everybody on my staff does. This is what I do. Every Friday, we get on the phone with someone else in our staff, and Alicia usually does this call in my organization. She gets on the phone and she says, what'd you do this week? How many of you have some sort of accountability with someone that knows your goal? So the gut check is when you take a look and you say, all right, I wrote this check this week, and I don't mean a real check, but I wrote this check. Did my ass cash it? And if it didn't, guess how the weekend goes. Guess how the weekend goes. You guys remember the weekend when you were a kid? Do you guys remember the weekend when you were a young kid? Hopefully most of you had good weekends. But when you were a kid and you didn't have to go to school, it was awesome. The weekends were great. Cartoons on Saturday. For those of you that might have not had a good childhood, at least it was a change of pace. When you were a kid, how many of you kind of dread the weekend now? Like the weekend doesn't have the same magic that it used to. And it really bums you out. How many of you get bummed out because the weekends don't have the same magic that they used to? Even if you've been working hard all week. What is a weekend, somebody says? Yes. So here's the thing. You want to know how to fix that? Your Friday gut check, if you got everything you were supposed to get done that week, you're going to have the best freaking weekend you've had in a long time. Every Friday when I have done what I need to have done and I can walk into the weekend, I get to enjoy myself. It's awesome because I know this last week I kicked ass and took names. But guess what happens when I have a Friday gut check with myself? This is like 5 minutes that I go over everything. When I have that gut check and I didn't, do you think the weekend's very satisfying? No, I'm still working. Does that make sense? When I don't get what I need to do through the week done, I'm still working on the weekends. It sucks. It sucks. So here's the thing. Guess what I do on the weekends when I kick ass? Guess what I do on the weekends when I kick ass? I play, I hang out with family, I party, or guess what? Maybe there's that new shiny object that I wanted to go through, but I know it's probably not going to lead to anywhere because it's a hobby. I'll go through it on the weekend, and then I'm going to put it back afterwards. Do you see how it completely changes things? Then you still get to learn, but you only get to learn because you put points on the scoreboard, guys. That's the thing. You are not allowed to be all over the place in your head until you've put points on the scoreboard. When you start putting points on the scoreboard every week, do you think it hurts you on Saturday to go through some new piece and maybe learn a little bit? And someone says, I'm a little bit disabled. I got some disabilities, and so it's hard to have fun. Well, this is when you get to detach and do whatever the hell you want to do. Even if you're into internet marketing or you're into a certain TV show, this is when you get to just veg out and do what you want to do. The thing is do fun stuff, but do it in the right times. Does that make sense to everybody? The Friday gut check tells you, do I need to work this weekend, or did I get my shit done? And listen, You start stringing Good Friday gut checks together, holy crap. Someone says, do you plan each month, 1 month in advance, or months in advance? Typically, we have a good idea of what we're going to do every month for the entire year as far as, cash influx, as far as in the business. And then we will plan a month in advance, and sometimes we'll even get 2 months in advance. Okay? Okay. Who's ready to move on? Does this make sense to you? I'll show you more at the end. If you actually want to see my calendar, if you actually want to see my Trello board, I'll show you more at the end. All right, so here's what's interesting. This is what starts blowing your mind. And this is, I'm telling you guys, this is all a step-by-step of how you do this the right way. This is how you do those the right way. Yes, and by the way, someone says, do the 5 things that you get done in a week contain items or goals for your happiness components? Absolutely. Every week I got down things I want to get done, and they all fit back into my happiness components. So are you guys understanding now how this all stacks? But until you have those 5 happiness components and what your goals are, how in God's name can you actually plan your business or your personal life? Yeah. So how do we plan when the issue is not being able to choose an actual business model? The problem is you haven't chosen something. Just choose some shit that you like. If you're starting your own business, choose something. If you're afraid of choosing something, guess what? You're never going to make any money doing anything. But if you choose something, put a few months into it. I guarantee you, if more people would focus themselves, they'd be happier and they'd make more money. Someone says, if we have too many services, should we cut some out? Hell yeah, cut out the ones you don't like. Keep the ones you do. With any business, it's usually 1 to 3 things that make the money. You guys find it interesting that Apple only releases so many products at once, and then they cut the others? Why do you think they do that? So they can focus. All right, let's move forward. So, you get organized, and you're not organized yet. I understand that. You get organized. I get that. What do you think happens when you get organized? Do you still, even when you're organized, do you still have a bunch of shit that you don't like to do that you have to do? Why do you have to do that stuff? Why do you have to do a lot of the stuff that you don't like to do but you have to do? Because it's what makes the money, right? Right now, that's probably your day job. Right now, it's probably the side gig that you're doing that you hate because it's making you money. Right? So, here's what's interesting. The second that you get organized enough that everything's very structured, do you know how easy it is to hire someone? When you have your day organized and you know exactly what you need to do every day, guess what happens? Well, number one, you start making enough money. And when you start making enough money, you also start making enough money to hire someone to take those tasks off your plate. Would you guys like to know a quick trick as to how I doubled my business in 1 month? Went from $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month way back when I first started. It was an easy trick. Who wants to know the trick? I hired an employee to run my help desk. I hired an employee to do my help desk. That's how Alicia came on for us. Guess what? That doubled my income. Why? Because I was able to be more productive. But we were somewhat organized. Not as organized as we want to be, but we were organized enough that she could come in, take the job, and make my life easier. All right. So, how to find a trustworthy assistant? We can go through that sometime, but the key is don't worry so much about hiring from overseas. Feel free to hire someone close. The key is when you hire someone, most of the time someone will screw up on you because of what? Why do most people suck at outsourcing? And then I have one more exercise for you. It's because they don't know how to convey what they need done. Bad communication. If you knew exactly what you need to have done and you could give someone the step-by-step of what that was, guess what? They'd probably be able to do it. You're the problem. If you're not having success with outsourcing, it's because your ass isn't organized. Pretty much that simple. Because once you're organized and once you have it step by step, it's much easier to train. I'll go into that in a sec. Let's move on to our next thing. So here's what I want you to do. I got one more exercise for you tonight that I absolutely have to have you do. Take out your paper, take out your notepad again on your computer, and write these things down. What are the things? Let's go with 3 to 5. Actually, let's just do 3. Let's do 3. What are the 3 things that you hate doing in your personal life? What are the 3 top things that you hate doing in your business life? I don't care if you work for someone else. I don't care if you work for yourself. What are the 3 things that you absolutely hate doing? Would you guys like to hear the things I hate doing in my personal life? Who wants to know the 3 things that I absolutely hate doing in my personal life? Number 1, I absolutely hate cleaning our house. Hate it. Hate cleaning our house. Guess what we do? There you go. We hire someone. Number 2, I hate cooking. Hate cooking, not something I want to do. Guess what we're doing? Haven't done it yet, but this is on the list. We're hiring someone to cook. Okay? What else do we hate? What else do you absolutely hate doing in your personal life? Yard work. You can hire it out. Bookkeeping. You can hire it out. Do you guys understand where I'm going with this? The problem with most of you guys is you've accepted that you have to do these things. How many of you have accepted that you have to clean your house? How many of you have accepted that you have to cook? How many of you accepted that you have to do yard work? It's just part of life. Go ahead and say it. How many of you have accepted those things in your life? Come on. It's just life, right? No, it's not. Get that out of your head. Get that out of your head. And someone says, I love doing all those. That's cool. It's all good. My wife loves doing yard work. I hate it. But do you understand that your life is yours? You are in charge. And all you have to do is stand up and say, I don't want to do these things anymore. That's it. So here's the key. How much does it cost you to hire a gardener or hire someone to do the yard work? How much does it cost me to hire a cook who will cook for us? How much does it cost me to hire someone who's going to clean my house every week, a couple times a week? Guess what we build into our monthly expenses? Guess how I know how much money I need to make every month? Is it starting to make sense? The stuff that I hate to do is what motivated me to make more money. A lot of people build their budget after they make money. That's stupid. Build your budget before you make money. Now, don't overspend on your budget, but what you'll find is perhaps what you're doing right now does not fit what you want. And what happens if what you're doing right now and the money you're making right now doesn't fit what you want? And you realize you can change it because you can. You will do something about it. You will build it into your business and you will do something about it. A lot of people understand outsourcing their business life, but they don't understand outsourcing their personal life. And guess what happens to your business if you start outsourcing the crap that you hate in your personal life? See what I mean? That's the thing. You want to get really happy? Get rid of the shit that you hate. Now, you can't get rid of your family, so you're stuck with them. But you understand what I'm saying? So the key here is this. If I can't motivate you for any other reason to make a budget of how much money you want to make per month, all I want to say is, in your personal life, what is the crap you don't want to do anymore for the rest of your life? What is the crap that you never want to wake up in the morning dreading doing again? How many of you understand how powerful that thought is? How many of you get that right now? Deep inside, you understand that if you woke up every day and you didn't have to do anything that you didn't want to do task-wise, that life would be instantly better. Now, let me ask you something. If you knew you could get rid of those, would it be worth working your ass off every month just for those things? Just for those things. Would just knocking those things out of your personal life be enough motivation to work on one thing and focus on one thing until you were successful with it? Good. Good. So, pretty much, how much does it cost to hire this stuff out? Go back and add this stuff to your business income goal. Whatever your income goal for work was earlier in the call for the 5 things, go and add this amount of money that it would cost. Go price this out. Literally, get on the internet after this call. Go look at how much it would cost you to do this stuff. And I'm going to guarantee you, when you actually know the cost, you're going to be more motivated to actually make this reality. Okay? Everybody good? Okay? The next thing is, when you start to actually put the stuff together that you want to outsource, how many of you still suck at outsourcing? The reason you probably suck at outsourcing is this. You don't have a manual written for how things are done. The number one reason that you suck at outsourcing is because you're not organized. But number 2 is because you're so unorganized that you have never put together a manual to teach someone. How many of you on this call have ever written a PDF manual and sold it to other people? Or tried to sell it to other people? Okay? There's a few of you. Here's the thing. I didn't get this for a long time. I was writing all these how-to guides to explain what I was doing to make money and selling that to other people, and I would never write one of those manuals for my staff. How freaking stupid is that? How freaking stupid is that? Yeah, it's dumb. So here's what we use now. This is actually a Trello board. This is a Trello board, and look, it's got daily tasks, it's got weekly tasks, it's got monthly tasks, and it's got annual tasks. This is basically everything on here financial-wise. The person that manages the financials for my company, this is what she has to do every day. This is what she has to do every week. This is what she has to do every month. And this is what she has to do every year to make sure that we're on board. Do you think that keeps her a lot more organized? It helps so much. We have our manuals inside of Trello. And we're working to get them even more organized and to actually build them out into a guide. Let me ask you something. If you want something done in a certain way, does it make sense to tell them every step when you hire someone? Trello is free, by the way. So here's the thing, and I know we're getting short on time, but the key is tell them exactly. Videos are good, but I guarantee when you write it down and give them a step-by-step, it's going to be amazing. Amazing. Yes, I do use Trello to organize, to structure and organize fulfillment. Okay? I got a couple more slides, guys, and then we're done. So, last thing. I know you guys are tired. I know that you've gone long with me, and I'm going to answer your questions in just a minute. But here's what you got to understand. This may seem like a lot of work, but when you work towards this, something very, interesting is going to happen to you. Okay? When you work hard towards this, something interesting is going to happen. And anything you guys want to see of mine in a minute, just ask, and I'll get to it. But hang on. Here's what happens when you get there. Number one, you get to a point where you do very little of the stuff you hate. It takes time to get all this done, but this is what you're working for. You get to a point where you do very little of the stuff you hate. Procrastination goes way down because you have nothing to put off, because you love everything you do every day. Just about 99% of the time. Your procrastination is going to go down because you like all the stuff you're doing. You have no reason to waste time, unless it's scheduled time to waste time. Next, you spend the bulk of your day doing stuff that you like. How cool would that be? Here's another one. You get a few wins under your belt using these organization systems, and you realize what you're actually capable of. Think about this. You get a couple wins, you start getting ground, and you're climbing the hill instead of falling down it all the time. You're going to start realizing what you're capable of. Okay? After that, you start realizing how damn powerful you are, and you're going to feel like a damn lion. And that's when you start, when you go outside every night and you look up at the stars like I talked about earlier, you start reaching for them. Now, that was extremely lame, but I just had to go there. But you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Is you start actually reaching for things that you never thought possible, because now you know anything is possible. But you have to organize this. Let's keep going. You're going to actually make more income. And the more income you make, the easier it is to make more income. That is the greatest thing in the world, is once you get over the hump, you can make a ton more. But you got to get over that hump initially, because trust me, guys, I've been there. I've been super poor. I've been super poor. And the more income I made, the easier it gets. Now, there's more stuff that comes with that income, but it does get easier. Now, the next thing is you get happier as a whole because your family, business, your hobby, your health, and faith have all grown. How many of you, if you accomplished each of those three things in your 5 happiness components by the end of 2014, you would be infinitely more happy? Infinitely more happy if you accomplish those. All right? You're willing to, if you accomplish those, you're going to be willing to take more risk because you have a solid, balanced base to work from. When you have a solid base to work from, you can dominate because you're willing to take more risk. And here's the cool thing, and this is the reason that you have to do this. You have to do this. Okay? People start to follow you because they realize you have something figured out that they don't. Here's the beautiful part. They'll pay you extremely well for the opportunity to learn how to get the success you have. Guys, I have $1,000 coaching programs. I have $5,000 coaching programs. I have $10,000 coaching programs. I have $25,000 coaching programs. And guess what? These people aren't paying me because I'm on the same level they are. They're paying me because I figured out something that they haven't. It's not because I'm better than they are as a person. It's because I've got a skill or got a method or got a technique that if they just had, they could apply it to their own life. And that's why you got to do this, because people will do the same. And guess what? It's easier to make money when you have these skills down, because you can turn around and sell them. Everybody follow me there. If you get this stuff down, people will follow you anywhere. Why the hell are you guys here tonight? Come on, seriously. Why the hell are you guys here tonight? I know I'm not charging you anything, but do you understand that the byproduct of having this stuff figured out means people will follow you and people will listen to what you have to say? Okay, last thing. This is probably, you got to get this. You'll have extra money, energy, and time to right the wrongs that you see in the world. Every one of you has things that you hate about the world around you, and it needs to be fixed. And when you start making more money and you have more energy because you're working out and you spent time with your family and you're connecting with the world and you have more time, you're going to have everything you need to change the world the way you want to change it. And that's big. So, guys, this is it. If you take a look, this big confusing thing that we started with at the beginning of the call tonight, if you take a really good look at it and you go back through this recording and you actually take what we did and do something with it, it's going to be big. So here's the thing. This is normally where people would pitch, but my pitch tonight is not for money. My pitch tonight is your ass on the line next year. You're at a fork in the road. Don't kid yourself. You're absolutely at a fork in the road. And here's what happens. You can keep accepting the crap that you've been handed thus far. You can keep buying everything under the sun. You can keep listening to 800 people out there. Or you can pick one and you can follow this path that I've given you tonight. And you can experience life in a way that you've never experienced before. This Better Life sequence is just that. It's a sequence. You take it step by step. You fill out and find out what your happiness components are. You put those into a purpose funnel and figure out what do you got to do this year, this month, this week, this day. And then once you figure that out, you get rid of all the crap that's eating up your time and you put the new stuff in. And then you start getting more organized because you know exactly what you need to do and how you need to do it. And then once you get really good at that stuff, guys, you're so organized that you're actually ready to hire staff to take over the crap that you hate, but that also makes you money and gives you more time. And that's the key, guys, to being happy. That's it. That's the key to next year, you guys building a $100,000 a year business all the way up to a $10 million per year business. Those are the keys, okay? Those are the keys to doing it. If you get off this call tonight and you try to make things more complicated in this, you're going to fall, okay? You're going to fall. But if you stick with this and you keep it simple and you focus on each one of these steps in the Better Life sequence, I guarantee you by this time next year, December 30th, 2014, you guys are going to have things that you never dreamed possible tonight. So, last thing, and then I'm going to take questions. When you go to bed this evening, and if you can, I want you to fill out everything that I ask you. If you can't get it done tonight, I want you to go to bed and think about all this, and I want you to get up tomorrow, and you absolutely have to do this. But the thing is, if you don't do it tomorrow, you probably won't do it. You have to write this stuff down. This is the most important thing you can do for yourself. It's the most important thing you can do for your family, your friends, and your community, because the only way you can impact the world the way you need to is by getting this shit together. And you can do it. All right, guys, thank you so much.